Today is the last day to finish the details of your clay Nicho box. So the first thing that you're going to do when you get your project back is you're going to very carefully flip it over. And we need to write our names on these because this is the last time that you're going to see it before it goes into the kiln. So I'm going to take my clay tool very carefully and write my name, just barely scratching the surface of the clay using my nicest handwriting. And then also add your art code as well. All right, now we're going to flip it over and get to work. Now last time hopefully you had a chance to add a few details, and today we're just going to be able to add more so that our project is covered with all the designs that we planned out earlier. So one thing that I did was I planned my Nicho box with a lot of flowers on it. I'm making this one to honor my mom, and my mom loves flowers. She's a big gardener. So I made a whole bunch of little clay balls and then I smushed them flat. And what you can do with these is very carefully roll one of them up, like so. And then take your other ones and kind of roll them around your first one. And it's kind of a really cool way of making like a little clay rose. And you might have to add just a little bit of water. I just get my finger a little bit wet so that I can smooth out those cracked edges, because that doesn't look very nice. We want it to be nice and smooth. And just kind of keep wrapping these around until your rose is the size that you like. And you can kind of bend the petals out a little bit to make your flower look like it's opening up. Now when my flower's done, if it sticks up a little too much from the bottom, you can always kind of trim it off. Because sometimes I don't like my details to stick up too far off of the box, because things that stick up really high are going to get knocked off more easily. So I like to keep them a little bit low. I don't make any details that are taller than, oh, I'd say like an inch maybe. And then wherever I want to attach this, I'm going to slip and score just like we did last time. So scratch up the back of that object really, really well. Figure out where it's going to go. And then add just a little drop of water. And gently wiggle them together. There we go. Now as I add my other details, keep in mind, clay is fun because it's three-dimensional. So whenever I cut objects out, I don't really want them to just lay on this project flat. Like for this flower, I'm going to work with it. I'm going to curve its petals. I'm going to kind of smush and move and play with it a little bit so that it looks three-dimensional. Give it kind of some waves and bumps and textures. And you'll find that makes your objects look more realistic also. Kind of curl this one up at the end, curl this one down, maybe curl this one up. That's going to make your project more fun to look at if it has more three-dimensional objects on it. Now I'm just going to keep on going with my extra clay until I have all the details that I like. When your details are all finished, the last thing that you want to do is make sure that you smooth out all of your edges. Water can be really, really helpful for smoothing, but just make sure that you only use a couple of drops. Especially anywhere where I had to cut with a tool and it has like a jaggedy edge. You really want to make sure that you try to smooth that out. I'm also making sure that all of my objects are slipped and scored. Even all these little circles that I put in the center of the flower had to be slipped and scored because I don't want any of my details to fall off. Now when you've done all the finishing touches to your project, you need to flip it over one last time and check your name on the back to make sure that it didn't get messed up as you were working and that it's still legible. And after you've done that, you can leave your clay project to dry.